Welcome to the Inner Blueprint Podcast. I'm Sean Foyer, the Universal Mindset Disruptor. With over 20 years of turning blueprints into thriving home improvement businesses, I've learned that the strongest foundations start in your mind. Whether you're building a business or your own success, we're here to reshape how you think and face daily life and always remind you to enjoy the ride. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Inner Blueprint, the podcast all about thinking better thoughts to get better results in your life. I'm Sean Foyer, here today with the beautiful, amazing, radiant
Caitlin Foyer.
And today we are so excited. How excited are you?
I'm so happy and grateful and excited. Yes.
Yes. So today's guest is a friend of ours, someone who has spent more than 3 decades helping people in Utah find the perfect home. She's built a reputation with not just her experience in real estate, but the way she genuinely cares about people that she serves. In fact, she didn't just help countless families, she helped our family. She helped Kayla and I find our dream home. And we actually ran into a terror barrier, which we'll probably talk about in the episode.
Definitely.
That she talked us through to help us get the home of our dreams. She's a trusted advisor, a relationship builder, and someone who understands that real estate is far more than a transaction. It's about helping people step into the next chapter of their lives. Please help me welcome our friend, our incredible real estate professional. We call her Mama Sue Benson.
Hi, guys. I am so happy to be here. This is great.
Oh, this is great. Fun. And actually, I skipped one part. I want to add this. Sue's all about family.
Yes.
She's a proud mother of 4 and grandmother to a growing crew of grandkids. And she lives the same values she brings to her clients every single day. So we have to add that because I know how important family is to you. And I'm going to get emotional. We love that you're part of our family.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm grateful to be part of your family too.
Oh gosh. Mama Sue said, do I need a Kleenex? I said, no, you're not going to need a Kleenex.
Just Sean needs them apparently.
No, but as we get into this episode, we've shared in the past, me and Caitlin met at a personal development training 6 years ago. Yeah. We met one of our best friends on this planet, Benson, and Sue is her mother. And it was one of my first meetings of Sue. I'll never forget. We'd stayed up at Janitha's house. It's like 7:00. And all of a sudden I hear a snowblower and I'm like, I'm the only man in the house. And I'm like, who's blowing the snow right now? And so I think maybe Janitha got up early and went outside, and I walk outside and there's Sue Benson out there with the snowblower, come over to Janitha's to help her out. And that to me is who you are. You're just somebody that shows up for the people they love and care about. So excited to have you on and have this beautiful conversation.
Well, thank you. And my first memory of you was also at Janitha's house. And I think we were trying to get a couch in through a door in her basement into her meditation room. But I can remember talking to Sean and knowing right then that he was going somewhere. I didn't know where at the time, but I knew it was happening. And that was probably, November, December, because you just finished the program with Janitha where you guys had met.
Yeah.
And she called me in California at the end of that and said, Mom, I have met my twin. And I thought she meant someone that was just her same size. But over the years, you guys are so much alike in all kinds of, all areas. And it's really been fun to watch that relationship evolve into what it is now.
I know. We call each other Twinny. And it was so funny because when we met, I had blonde hair like her and we were wearing masks because it was, through COVID. And people would just, everyone had been in the training, they would confuse us too. Like they would call her Caitlin and me Janitha, and they would get us all confused. And we're like, oh my gosh, I guess we're twins. But it's true. She's like my sister from another mister, we're identical in so many ways, which is great. And then the ones that we aren't identical in, her and Sean are identical in.
I was going to say, yeah, she's also my twin sister.
So crazy.
As well, because there are so many synchronicities and similarities.
Yeah.
And then Caitlin and I both not really having parents anymore when we met you. You've really come in like a surrogate mom. And not only to us, but even, in our work, we can talk about how you got into the mindset work with us, but the group of women that you're part of, everybody on our call calls her Mama Sue. It's like she brings this wisdom, this love, this care to the mindset work that we do that is so needed in this world. So I guess first off, just thanks for being you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll try not to be nervous, but talking to you guys is easy and fun. And I hope that I have something that others can learn from.
Oh my gosh. Every time we have a conversation, I feel like I gain some wisdom. And, we talk about belief a lot on Inner Blueprint. And I was very blessed to have Kaylin come into my life, and she is my cheerleader. But like the first conversation we had, you said, Johnny boy, you got something special, kid. And to have somebody that, and, I look up to and respect and has so much life experience, to be able to see that at a point when I was still finding myself. We've talked a lot about Inner Blueprint as finding that inner spark and rebuilding it from the inside out. And, you are one of just a few people that have showed up in my life and saw something inside of me before I could even see it myself. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you teach other people that too, Sean. You have to recognize that in your own life. When I first started Inner Blueprint, it was called something different 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was TIR. We were still using Bob's original program.
And I remember thinking at first, this is crazy. You can't just think something and have it happen. But after the first, I think it was the first or second module, I can remember going to one of my real estate sales meetings, and I was on fire. I was trying to tell people, you have to understand, before I did this, it was like I had one conduit going from my brain up. I'm a very faith-oriented person. I have a strong belief in my Savior, Jesus Christ, and in a higher power, my God. And I felt like I had everything I needed. And after this, I realized that conduit changed to a funnel like this. And I realized that there's so much more that we can learn from other people and other situations to make ourselves be better, to grow, and in turn be able to help other people, which isn't that what we're here for, is to be better and to help other people grow and be their better self.
Yes. Well, and for listeners too, I'd known Mama Sue for a couple of years when she decided she wanted to do some mindset work. And my first thought was, why does Sue Benson need to do mindset work? I mean, literally, she's forever young. She's healthy, in great shape, beautiful. She's financially successful. She's a mother, beautiful wife, grandmother. In my head, I remember, I think Janitha said, my mom's thinking about joining the mindset program. And that was my first thought, as I'm like, okay, why? Like, what does Sue Benson need that we can offer with Inner Blueprint? And again, you've got such strong faith and so much success around you. But I'll never forget the conversation. In Inner Blueprint, we talk about the power trifecta. If you join us, you better want more money, better health and wellness, and better relationships. And our first conversation was, well, Sean, we're pretty good on money. Randy's retired. We've done very well. I still do some real estate. We don't need to worry about money. And, I'm pretty healthy. I'm, forever young. So
I still wakeboard.
Yeah, she still wakeboards, you guys.
So cool.
It's so impressive. But I just want to, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a wife, I just want to work on my relationships. Sean, are you okay if I join your program and just work on that? And I was like, of course. And in my head, I know that if you pick one area of the trifecta, you're going to affect the other areas. So that was Sue Benson's introduction into the mindset world, was I'm going to work on my relationship. And one of the most important relationships is your relationship with yourself. And I know as positive and confident as you were, you've done a lot of work there as well. And yeah.
And I've been able to, I would say, find my voice and be able to know that it's okay to say no or to say yes to the right things. I like that perspective a little bit better, that you stop and think about what you're saying yes to. And that probably that I'm capable of doing more than I thought I could do. And that was funny because I've done a lot of real estate seminars, and I've done a lot of traveled all over to try to become a better realtor. And what I told Sean is, I spent all the money on those courses, but if you don't come home and do what you're taught, you won't succeed. You won't become better. And what I love about Inner Blueprint and what you guys do is that you live what you teach. You are living it all the time. You're not just, and you say that a lot in your in your modules, that you guys are students too. And I think that's the secret. It really is. These professional real estate coaches, they're good and they're making a lot of money. But if these realtors or other business people don't go home and practice those things, it's not going to work. And it never worked for me. I would go home and say, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, this, and this. For a minute, I would do it. But then I would fall back into my...
Well, until you get into a program like Inner Blueprint with the mindset, I mean, that's module 2, the knowing doing gap. And so many real estate agents, even in our home improvement industry, they go to seminars. They get the information. It's good information. It's proven. But then when you go back and try and implement it, one of the biggest reasons we don't implement it is something about that system goes against our belief system, even at a subconscious level that we're not realizing. It's uncomfortable to do cold calls, or it's uncomfortable to do this. And that's one thing with awareness and mindset, and we close the gap. And again, we do that very authentically because, we're always closing the gap. Some of mine tend to reopen.
Sometimes opening them, right? But
yeah.
definitely working on that.
Yeah. So coming in with that intent on your relationships, how are your relationships today?
I would say my relationships are great. They really are not just good, they're great. My kids are my life.
Yes.
My grandchildren and Randy, my husband. We've all worked hard to get to where we are, and we've overcome a lot of challenges. That everybody has challenges, and you say you'll keep your own trial and your own challenges. And as hard as things have been, I would keep what we have, because I think we've grown stronger. We've learned. We have each other's back. We genuinely care about each other, and that's really, to me, again, that's what it's all about, is that love and caring. Yeah.
When I would say of all the people we know, you are the epitome of family, of relationships. I mean, again, because of our situation, I think it was a year ago for Thanksgiving, it was me and Ken and the girls, and you opened up your home and invited us, and we got to come experience what it's like to be part of Randy and Sue Benson's Thanksgiving at their house. And it's so beautiful. I mean, you and Randy as a couple are so cute together. You guys golf together, you travel together. We know very closely a couple of your children that we've been able to spend time with, and, good job. It's still interesting to me, that was your original intent, because you already do have such good relationships. But I've seen, even in you, your confidence, the way you show up, as much as you loved yourself coming in, I would say you love yourself and speak more freely than you ever have.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I do have more courage than I thought I had, which may just morph into the next story that I'd like to tell.
Okay,
please,
you lead. Let's go.
Sean and Caitlin came to me, and they wanted a home. They were just determined to get a home, and that's what I do. I love to put people with homes. And we had kind of looked at a few that just, in fact, made an offer on one that I believe one or the other of you really wanted and the other one didn't want. And my motto is both partners, husband, wife, partners, whatever the situation, they both have to love it. And even with my own children, Doug and his wife, he found a home he wanted so bad. And Lindsay said, "No, I don't like it." And I said, "Sorry, guys, can't buy the house." Well, 3 weeks later, they found their darling first starter home, and they both loved it. So Sean and Caitlin went through this situation with this other home and canceled because it wasn't the right house, even though they thought it would work. Pretty soon, not much longer, maybe just weeks later, I got a call that we're at an open house. This is our house. This is our forever dream home. I said, "Great, let's make an offer." At which point Sean said, "I don't think I can because I don't have the money to pay that much for this home." And I loved it because it took a lot of courage for me to say, "Sean, you have been teaching Inner Blueprint to us about stretching, about getting out of your comfort zone, about manifesting it, about making it happen. And you've had this on your vision board. You've had it in your heart. Now you've found it, and you're telling me I can't do it."
Yeah. And this is vulnerability. This is, living the work that we do. And for me, we talk about paradigms and mindset, right? And paradigm is a limiting belief that comes into you either from hearing something over and over, an emotional event. Well, real estate has always been important to me. I bought my first house when I was 20 years old, right? Rolled it a couple times. And then the last home I'd owned prior to the ones who sold us, I had to short sell it. I had bought it in 2008 during the Great Recession. In 2009 and 10, I was told to let it go. I was pretty stubborn. I'd never let anything go in my life. I made a commitment to buy this house. I was going to keep it. And for 6 years, I paid on a backwards house. And it depleted not only my finances, but almost every ounce of my soul. So, here we are almost a decade later. I'd rebuilt my finances. I'd rented for quite a few years. I'd become comfortable renting because I didn't want to go through that experience. So here we are. And it was on the front porch. I'll never forget. She got all spunky with me. And I'm like, yes, I can afford it, but I don't want to stretch myself. I don't ever want to experience. But as we say in Paradigms, it's things from the past that aren't true and aren't yours. And standing on that porch is Sue Benson saying, Sean, you told me you're the universal mindset disruptor and you help people, and now you're running into your own fear firewall. What are you going to do about it, kid?
Yeah.
And so
That's pretty much what I said.
Yeah.
I told her yes. I still went to the logical mind. I called my financial planner. I called my CPA. They both gave me my blessing to buy the house. And at some level, I mean, this is full vulnerability and authenticity. I was still afraid. I still had a fear firewall. Like, what if I can't? Today I can. But I've been in life where today you can and tomorrow you can't. And and Sue said, Sean, you deserve it. We talked about worthiness. You deserve it. You've rebuilt. You told me this is your home. Let's buy it. So we threw in the offer, and we, again, almost ended up in a multiple offer situation.
We did, yeah.
They picked our offer. It wasn't an outrageous over asking. It was the price we felt was fair. And, I remember Sue said, get the house, get the payment on auto, and don't worry about it. And here we are a couple years later, and I haven't thought about that payment once. In fact, I shared with Sue, we just had it appraised after doing some remodel. It's gone up in value a ton. We just refinanced on a 15-year note
Instead of a 30.
instead of a 30-year. And guess what? We could afford it. So,
Yeah.
Thank you for
You're welcome.
being a student of this material and being the teacher back to what was supposed to be the teacher. And I'm always a student. I'm so grateful that you were our real estate agent and that you had awareness of mindset. I think that's what's been cool too, is you joined Inner Blueprint to help in your personal life, but it's reflected in your finances and you use it like you used it with us. I mean, you literally were a mindset coach on the porch saying, Sean, this is your house. You need to buy it. And I think you were telling me earlier, you've had some experiences with clients where you use the mindset work with them, right?
I wish I had a better memory, but I am able to dig deep. And in fact, just today I chatted with a client. They are the cutest people. I've worked with them for almost my entire career. I started when they had babies, and now they have grandbabies of their own. They've bought and sold multiple homes with me, investment properties, lots of different things, and they're just so much fun. They said, well, we want this home. No, we don't want it. We're just going to wait. We're going to simmer is the word she used. And I loved it. And I said, when was the last time you ever simmered? And sure enough, within a few days, she said, this is the home.
No.
So we negotiated everything over the weekend, and they accepted the offer this morning. And then, bless her heart, she called. And she said, oh, can I talk to you? Not just as a realtor, but can I just talk to you? Because, well, she could be one of my children.
Yeah.
And we talked about this, her scarcity, her living so modestly all these years. And now that they have the opportunity to have this incredible home, they're not feeling worthy or deserving. And I said, I'm going to do this podcast today. And here you are throwing this at me. And the things that I was able to tell her, I've learned here that it's okay. You need to step into your power. You need to realize that what you've achieved is incredible.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah, because they can afford this easily. It's not an
Absolutely
affordability
they can
issue at
afford-
all.
oh,
It's 100%.
totally
Are we
afford it.
comfortable with this beautiful,
Yes.
amazing house?
Yes.
Do I deserve it? Yeah.
Or should I be comfortable in this little 2-bedroom rental home? We have everything we need. And the things that I was able to share with her, I really have learned through this program and the experiences that you've shared. And that is, you can't live in scarcity your whole life. The more you give away, the more you get back. But more importantly, I said, you will have a gathering place for your children and grandchildren. Sure, you can stay in this 2-bedroom home, but where will the family come at Christmas or at Thanksgiving? And bless her heart, she said, thank you. She said, I think we can do this. And I said, go into the home again Wednesday. If it feels terrible, walk away. And that's perfectly fine with me.
But if it feels like
But
home.
if it feels good, then move forward. And the other thing I've used forever and ever is if you say no to this, and then later you end up in a fetal position just crying yourself to sleep at night because you said no to a great opportunity, then you should go forward. And people laugh, but I've had clients to this day still say, remember when I went into the fetal position? And they were sad because they didn't get the home or the situation didn't turn out the way they'd hoped. So
I can't imagine if I would have said no. I mean, it really is our dream home, and the memories and everything we've created while
Yeah.
being, even the work that we've done inside of that space. We deserved it. It's funny. I don't know if we ever talked about this, but the training that Caitlin and Janitha and I met at, did you know that they wouldn't let us use the word need?
Oh,
It was
I think, well, I know you're not supposed to use the word help
Yeah, and
no,
not
you
help,
can't
yes.
use help.
and need.
Help is hindering experience limits progress. So we don't
Okay.
help people, we assist them, right? We don't do it
Right.
for them. But yeah, they wouldn't let us use the word need. Like if I had to go to the restroom and I said I needed to, I can't remember what they did. There was like an
They
accountability
just
for
sit
it.
there and stare at you.
Yeah.
They
You
wouldn't
had to
let
say you deserve.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because inside of that training, we all knew it. So we started using it. I deserve a drink of water. I deserve this.
Yeah.
But outside of that training, in the world we live in, there's something about pride or entitlement that we don't deserve things. And I really love because you helped me feel like I deserved that house, right? That I did deserve it. And so that's, for listeners, I want you to think about that. We don't live in a need-based world. For most of us, we have our basic needs met. We have a roof over our head. We have enough drinkable water. Like our needs are pretty much met. It does come down to, do I deserve it? And one of the biggest blocks most of us have is at some level worthiness, which has been cool because, you teach this now. I mean, real estate agents, if you happen to be sent this podcast, we've worked mostly in the home improvement space, but we do have some really amazing licensed consultants that are expanding out. So, in your real estate business, it doesn't just help you in your relationships like it's helped Sue. It's helped her roll it over to helping with clients. And then what about you? You didn't want to make more money or do anything crazy, but have you done any cool things financially since you started working on mindset?
Oh, this is great. And I shared this story with my friend today. I started real estate because my mom did it when she was just a young girl. Well, she wasn't that young, and I just wanted to sell one or two more homes than she did. And so I went ahead and got into it 33 years ago, and it happened, and I was really blessed. And I mean, I would say there was a time where our family did suffer because I didn't know. I thought I had to work 24 hours a day or 28 hours a day and 8 days a week or to be successful. And after a few years, I recognized I didn't have to do that. I could just say to my clients, I have a commitment. And they respected me enough because I finally respected myself enough to say, hey, I have another appointment, when it was maybe a dance recital or
Something for the family.
something for the children or for our family. So that was helpful. But when I would buy a new car, I would be embarrassed because I thought, oh, if they know I'm buying a new car. And, I had 2 expeditions that were identical because I didn't want anybody to know I'd bought a new car.
So you drive the old Expedition to
Yeah,
clients and you keep
just
the other
Or
one
you should
hidden?
buy
No,
the
no,
exact same new
I
one.
bought
the
Same
exact
car,
same
same
one.
new
one.
version.
Same whites, everything. It was just the newer version.
Oh.
So I did that with 2 Expeditions and 2 Yukons. And I just had this block paradigm, right?
Yeah.
That I didn't deserve it. So then I had a Highlander for 10 years and I loved that car. And I reflected back on this. I was in the car with you guys one day and you were saying, Sue, you would be so cute in a white Mercedes-Benz. And I was in the way back of whatever car we were in. And I was thinking, there is no way I could never do that. I would never do that. I don't want to hurt their feelings and tell them they're nuts, but I am not ever going to do that.
But again, because you could afford a Mercedes, you just had that.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Don't need it.
Maybe I don't deserve it. Yeah.
Certainly don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And then we went, I don't even know what precipitated it other than my want list that we do. And I had written down cute white Mercedes SUV. I thought, why not?
Yeah.
I'll write it
I'm
down.
dreaming right now. I'll write it down.
So I wrote it down a few times over and over again. And then Randy asked me what kind of car I would like. And I said, well, I've kind of been looking at Mercedes. And then he suggested a few other options. And I can remember distinctly, he was in the middle of chemo. And he said, I feel good enough. Let's go look at some cars. And he suggested a couple of different dealerships. And I said, no. And he said, well, where do you want to go? I said, let's go out to the Mercedes dealership in Farmington. And I put money down on a car. And it was on my mom's birthday. Sean and Caitlin and I and Janitha were really into the synchronistic dates and times.
Yes.
And so I was just so excited about that. And for a moment, I worried and wondered, for just a moment, what will people think? Will they think I'm being flamboyant? Will they think I'm being, I don't know, just acting, trying to be better than I really am? And then I just put it out of my mind. And one person after another, you guys, my family, clients said,
she bought the Mercedes.
You deserve it. You deserve it. And when I got it, took a photo, sent a photo out to my kids, and people were excited. And I am proud of what I did. And what's even more incredible is that I had some minor investments that I cashed in on. And at the end of the day, I replenished my bank account for almost the entire amount of the car.
It didn't even cost you anything out of what you had.
But I had saved for 30 years for that to happen. And that money was just there. It's like my client. She says, the money is just sitting there. Why can't we have the home?
Yeah.
And so it's just been fun. But it was a push that I needed because now I tell other people, you deserve it. Take that vacation. Buy that car.
Yes, yes. Well, how does it feel when you drive it? I mean, you were so cute in that thing. I mean, it's amazing. Like, it's like, how did you think you didn't deserve that? It fits you so well.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And Randy will even say, do you still like your car? And I said, I love my car. I love to drive it. I love to clean it. I love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just for listeners, I want you to hear, I mean, we've talked about a couple of really cool things where Kaylin and I did a lot of work on ourselves, a lot of this mindset work, right? We expanded our vision. We were dreaming. We were having success. And then we got to this pinnacle where we had the opportunity to get a house we really wanted. And me more than Caitlin, I was holding myself back. And Mama Sue walked us through that we deserved it. And then, she came into our program not wanting more money. She's always done really well financially, but she's taken that to the next level and got the opportunity to buy a car that she realized she deserved. I mean, that's the full circle of Inner Blueprint and the work that we do.
And all the vacations you take and everything you do. And that's what I love about you, because my favorite moments about what we do are when our clients, one, become friends, right? That's so opposite from what I was taught prior to ever doing this work in business. Yeah. Never let your clients become your friends, right? And I think with certain businesses like real estate, there has to be a level of friendliness there because people aren't just buying a home, they're buying you. But with our work, it's amazing when people become friends. And it's really amazing when the student becomes the teacher to Sean or I.
Yeah.
And, when we bought our house, the house that we wanted, we had made a list and it had checked every box on the list of that first home that we backed out of. And so you told me, I was like, I don't know, Sue, I thought this was everything that he wanted to, and I guess it's just not, and it's fine. And you said, both of you need to make a list. And so I got off the phone with you, and I went and sat down on the counter, and I pulled out a piece of paper, and I said, go, tell me what you want. And we pulled out this list, and he was like, all right, what are you going to add to it? And I was like, I'm going to be a little bit of a brat right now because you didn't let me get the house I wanted. So I was like, I want 10-foot ceilings in the basement. And, I want stuff that was I want a built-in safe in the basement too. I want just kind of I want 20-foot ceilings. I want all of these. Why do I need that? I'm 5 feet tall, but I thought it would be nice. And lo and behold, a few days later, we go into that open house and it has everything on our new list. Literally everything. It had 10-foot ceilings in the basement. Oh, who has that? I don't know. We do. Yeah. And so when he was like, babe, I think we can't afford it. And I was just like, I feel like I can't push him anymore. I've really pushed and I don't want to be the reason that we get this and something happens. And so when you came in and just Mama Sued him, as we say,
I was like, surrender to this.
Thank you so much. This is proof that what we do works, because here's this woman who, when I met you, and still to this day, the kindest person I've ever known in my life, genuinely wants to do everything that she possibly can for other people. I've never seen someone show up so amazingly for their kids. I don't even know what that would be like. I just want to be like you as a parent. And then to see you as a grandparent too. I never had that. That blows my mind. You're at practices for them. You're at every cheer competition, which I know is a lot with Stella. And it's you're at classroom things. You know their teachers, everything you do.
And still showing houses to clients.
And I'm like, what can we teach Sue? We need her to teach us. But to see how you've grown in these last 4 years, you are just getting younger, you're getting spunkier, you're just getting so much more fun, you're traveling more than I've ever seen, everything you do, I'm like, it doesn't matter, this is something that we do tell the people when they say, well, what's your average client age? And I'm like, well, we have clients all the way from 18, to in their 70s now. And the work never stops. And you are just proof of that, of no matter how good things are, they can always be great.
They can always get better.
Yes.
Yeah, how does it get better?
Yeah, it's true. And I think what has to happen is people have to be willing to listen. I share this with a lot of people, but if they aren't willing to listen and really be vulnerable or recognize that, hey, maybe I could grow better, it won't work. And so, like you say, the one module where those people maybe aren't supposed to be in your circle.
Yeah.
You do all you can to help them, not help, assist them.
Assist them, yes.
And
because they deserve it.
kind of drip on them and that sort of thing. But it's interesting to see that my goal really is to be a better person every single day. I see my faults. I see the things that I can do better, and I recognize it. And sometimes it's hard to recognize that and to repent of it and to say, you know what, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to just move forward and be better.
Yeah.
The learn to listen thing is huge. I mean, I just finished a new book. I didn't realize there's the 4 Agreements book, and he came out with a new one called The 5th Agreement, and it's be skeptical, but learn to listen. So we should, be skeptical of what people are saying to us, but you have to learn to listen, because we were talking earlier before we started recording about that, the book, and I'll let you share on it, but we only see things through our lens. Right? Like if we were to...
Which is a programmed lens.
Which is a programmed lens. Like I just think of like a
Yeah.
movie theater, right? And if I sat in a movie theater of my life and was watching it, and my girls were watching it, and Sean was watching it, and you were watching it, you'd go, wait a minute, that's not the Caitlin that I know, because it was my movie. But if we went to Sean's movie and I was watching it, I'd go, wait a minute, that's not Sean. That's not how I see Sean. But Sean sees himself, he sees his life like this. That's not what I do. And so it's so opening to be like, people really, we only can see what we are programmed to see. And when you learn to listen and be open-minded to, I don't care if I'm good right now. I know I can be great. And I know that it's always going to get better. We become unstoppable.
And
truly.
And really on this topic of listening, as we're on a podcast that you listener are listening to, I just want to challenge you. Are you listening? Because we literally have Sue Benson, who at 70 years old decided she wanted more and went to work on it and has created so much more. And you've got me and Caitlin, who have been both through a lot of challenges and decided we want, and we listened. I started listening to Bob Proctor, and then I made his information mine, and now we share it. And Sue Benson, I remember when Sue first started having success with the mindset, she's like, oh my gosh, Sean, this is a whole new world. She was referring me more than anybody. But most of her referrals weren't listening, right? Do you remember that? I mean, I know you got discouraged, and I got discouraged. And so I'm going a little bit of a rant here for a listener. If you've been listening to our podcast and you're not one of our clients, because I know a lot of our clients support our podcast. So clients, thank you for listening to us. But if you're listening to this podcast and you want more, why haven't you done anything about it? Like we have testimonial after testimonial of this works. Like if you're willing to take on the challenge of going into your mind, and we've got Inner Blueprint, this material that Mama Sue has used to not only build a beautiful life for herself, but she's now coached even back to us to help us get our dream house. So are you listening? Because the information is out there. The only thing that keeps us from listening is our paradigm. I mean, that's the thing. Our limiting beliefs get in the way. I don't deserve that. Yeah,
and the knowing doing gap, that's the one that trips me up all the time, because at my age, I do know. I really do know. But the doing is the harder part. But I mentioned to Sean and Caitlin, you guys earlier today, I've been in the group now for 4 years.
Yes.
In January. And I've watched so many of it's a women's group.
Yeah, the powerful
so
women's
many
group.
of these women where they started, and now I've watched them, and it's phenomenal. I mean, our own daughter Janitha, and the two of you. Becca is
Erdman.
just amazing.
Trisha Drake.
I mean, I've watched these women and Sean manifest things over and over and over again, and how can you say that doesn't work?
You can't.
It's in my mind, my life. My gratitude is incredible. The prayers that I say, almost constant. And I know the prayers are answered. I know most of it, if not all of it, comes because of the gratitude that I'm able to give and share, and just being optimistic and kind.
Yes. Where did you learn about kindness?
Because you really
Well,
are the most kind
You are.
person
If
I've
I had to
ever
say
met.
one word.
And you're not nice, because nice is
I
fake.
know,
You
there's
are
a
kind.
different- yeah.
You're especially not nice when it comes to real estate deals,
No,
because
I know.
she will rip apart a house in a way that you go, who am I looking at right here? Like, this is everything I needed to hear, but I didn't expect it from you. Holy cow.
Yeah, before I'll tell you the story about kindness, but I do walk into a home and I tell my clients right off the bat, I don't sugarcoat it. So if I don't like it, I'm going to pretty much tell you if it's a dog or not. And I do. I mean, I can't say, oh, it's got potential,
No.
because it doesn't have potential. But when I was 13, so 12, 13 years old, and that was 60 years ago, my mom and I, best friends, and she passed when I was only 21. She was 50 years old, so I didn't have her for a long time. And I reflect back on the things that I learned from her and my dad, and mostly my mom. And we would go through this drive-through dairy to buy our milk and eggs and butter.
Wow. Wish we still had those.
Yeah, and it was so much fun. And we would pull in. The woman that helped us was, well, at the time, if I was 13, she was probably only 60, but she looked like she was 80, and she was so mean. She was so rude. And my mom would just, hi, Helen, how are you today? And we need 2 chocolate milks and a plain, and pint of half and half, and a pound of butter. And my mom was just constantly friendly to her. And I can still see us in the car. And as we drove away, I said, Mom, why are you so nice to her? She is so mean to you. And she said, Sue, you just need to learn to kill people with kindness. Mm-hmm. And that's a phrase now that people use all the time. I'm sure that Yvonne Huddaball started the phrase, 60 years ago. But I have lived by that. I've taught my children that. I've told people that all the time when they get upset or disgruntled with people. Just kill them with kindness. Yep. Say hello to the stranger. Give them an extra $10. Double the tip. I mean, whatever you can do to be kind. I mean, nobody is ever going to fault you for being kind. Not ever.
It's impossible to hate the really kind person. I was taught that, gosh, as a teenager, I was just struggling with the mean girl. I was a cheerleader. And so, they're mean to you, you're mean back, things like that. And I remember my really good friend, Whitney, she was a teacher at the time. And she was like, you got to learn to kill them with kindness. And I was like, I don't want to be kind. And she was like, it is impossible to hate the really kind person. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it changed me. Like that, kill them with kindness, when I learned it at, I was probably 16 at the time, changed me. And now that's what I tell my girls. If the girls are being, because teenage girls are mean. And so, if they've got a girl being mean or something's going on, like, just kill them with kindness, dude. Yeah. That's all you can do.
And take the high road.
Always take the high road. And as an adult, sometimes it's hard, but I watch you do this with, homeless people. I watch you do this with so many, in ways where you will never get a return. You are so kind, out of this world, kind and service oriented. And you're such a great example for so many. And that's, that spills into your work, that spills into your family. And it's very impressive.
Well, thank you.
Very admirable.
Thank you. You guys have taught me, though, that the more you give, the more you receive. And I've known that, but I really know it now. And the more generous we can be with everything, with our time, talents, money, whatever we have,
give it away.
It will come back to us. And I've helped multi-million-dollar clients who are so sad, and they could give it away, even a little bit they could give away. And back when I did help so many of them, I didn't know that concept of how awesome it is. And
it feels so good to give help or assistance.
Well, and I think it's my all-time favorite Mama Sueism is the term, it's just money, we'll make more. And I think that all the time. I never, I have this mindset of Sean and I never lose money. whatever we pay for it, what a deal was what we say. It's a great deal. And I always just in my mindset is I never lose money. I just move it to different areas, but it always comes back to me. And the easiest way to explain it is just like you always say, it's just money. We'll make more.
Yeah.
And what you think about comes about, just like your Mercedes, right? You made the decision to spend some money you'd saved up, and as soon as you spent it, you didn't even make some more. It just kind of magically came.
It came. There were those investments that I just kept and wondered, what am I going to do with them? And I thought, this is a good time to cash them in.
Yeah.
It's a great time. So.
That's my favorite part of the mindset work is when it's too easy, right? You're kind, you do good work.
You're grateful. You're
think
a very
positive
grateful
thoughts.
person.
Grateful
And
is a
gratitude
big
is the
deal.
secret
Gratitude.
sauce.
Yeah, it really is. And the manifesting is funny because I'm just, the parking place, I use that as an example, but before our daughter Sunny passed, we'd be out someplace and she'd say, "Oh, Mom," and I'd say, just watch this. And sure enough, we'd pull right into the front parking place and we just laughed about that. But I still, when I pull into a parking lot, I'll just say, I think I can get another one a little bit closer. And sure enough, I do. So
When you find what you're looking for, but most of us have some challenges in the way we're programmed and our life experiences that have us looking for challenge a lot of the time. And, that's one thing you didn't have when I met you because you were always so bright and positive. But I really do love to just see what you've done with the mindset work and how it's rolled over into your finances, even though you weren't looking for that, and your beautiful relationships. And you have such a beautiful family. I mean, we are so blessed to know not only you, but so many people in your family. I mean, Randy, your husband, is one of my favorite people.
He's a good man.
He's such a good man.
Such a good man.
Well, I don't know if it's okay to share his one, but I'll just say he got a cool little sports car, and Mama Sue and Randy came over to our house it's a convertible, the top down, and I got to hop in the car and have him drive me around this neighborhood. And it's just like, this is what it's all about. Just, my mantra is enjoy the ride. And I feel like you are a living example of what enjoy the ride looks like.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I've learned from you. I keep learning from you. And I will keep learning from you. Right?
Well, thank you. And we love your love and support. It's really fun to be loved by Mama Sue. So thank you for that. Well, any last thoughts for our listeners? I think this has been an amazing episode. I'm going to say it again. I hope you were listening. I hope you were listening. There's some really good information here waiting for those that are ready to listen. We say we can lead people to water, but we can't make them drink it. And for me, that's the most challenging part of our work.
The water we lead them to is the fountain of youth. I mean, Sue is the clear
everybody
example.
That leans into this looks younger. That is part of it.
I just do have one more thing to say.
Absolutely.
That I think sometimes in Inner Blueprint, and I know my buddy, I have an awesome buddy I love. Caitlin gives us our partnership accountability buddy.
Yeah.
I've done this 4 years, and every session I think, I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better. And that is the beauty of it, is we can never be perfect in anything we do. We can only get better in what we're doing. And when I start to slide and I think, I haven't been doing my IAMs, or I haven't been doing, all the things I haven't been doing, well, I can do better tomorrow. And I can pick up my manual and I can listen to the module more. And that is the beauty of this program. You should never stop.
Yeah.
And that's why I love it. And I love the ladies that have been in it for as long as they have, because you just keep getting a little bit better. And maybe it's just a tiny bit. But even a tiny bit is better than nothing at all. So that is the beauty of this program too, is that just give it a chance and don't quit. I've had relatives quit, friends quit after the first because it just didn't work. Well, it does work.
You didn't do the work.
You just need to give it the time and the energy. And Sean is great. Caitlin's great. 30 minutes a day.
That's all it takes. 30 minutes a day to change your life.
2% of your day, and people don't want to listen to it.
And like you say, Sue, we've had people we love and care about come and go from the program and just from our lives, but it is the people that have been in our mindset work consistently for a period of about 4 years have experienced miracles.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so
they
many
need a
clients.
telescope to look back to see.
Yeah. Bob Proctor used to say, do 6 months with me, Sean, and you'll have to have a telescope. And I look back to when I started this. I need more than a telescope. Holy shit. Like, it is like a different world everything in my life is different. The vehicles I drive, the house I live in, the people I get to spend time with, and most importantly, this version of myself. I look in the mirror and I'm like, who's this dude? Like, I literally feel 10 years younger today
Yeah.
than I did in 2014.
You're so much healthier and better
Oh,
off than you were
happier.
even 20 years ago.
Happier.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing was for me, I spent a lot of my life chasing happiness. And, I learned this quote, a happy life is just a string of happy moments, and I can choose happy in every moment. And this mindset work and beautiful people like Sue Benson make it real easy to choose happy way more often than I used to.
Absolutely. In every moment.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right. Well, thank you
Okay,
for being
thank
on.
you.
This is a
Appreciate
beautiful.
you
so
both. Love you
much.
both.
Love you so
yeah,
much.
we
And
love you.
listeners, if you love this episode as much as we loved recording it, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button. If there's somebody in your life that could use this message, and especially since the topic was real estate, if you have a real estate agent please send them this episode. We do have consultants trained to teach this material to real estate agents and anyone and everyone looking to think better thoughts to get better results in their life. Thanks for listening, and as always, enjoy the ride. It's a good one. Welcome to the Inner Blueprint Podcast. I'm Sean Foyer, the Universal Mindset Disruptor. With over 20 years of turning blueprints into thriving home improvement businesses, I've learned that the strongest foundations start in your mind. Whether you're building a business or your own success, we're here to reshape how you think and face daily life and always remind you to enjoy the ride.